Happy Video Friday. Once upon a time, there was an author who decided to write a trilogy in third person, and she had no idea at the time that there was a segment of the reading population that would not read third person point of view stories. So today I want to talk about this with you. So let's get to it. Okay, so last weekend I had an Instagram Live book club that I participated in, and we got to talking about first versus third person point of view. And one of the people on the book club, Instagram Live, asked me why I wrote so many of my novels in third person, which actually most of my books are written in first person point of view, but I have a handful that are written in third person. So I have been open about this before. I can write first person, I can write third person. I don't love one versus the other. In the romance world, I've written probably more first person for the fact that most people want to read first person. However, I choose third person for books that require third person point of view. Books that have maybe a little bit more complicated storyline, books that have a lot more characters, books where I want there to be a slight distance between the readers and the characters for whatever reason. It could be for mystery, whatever. So I write the point of view that I think the story requires, and I believe that's just good writing. So let's talk about why some people can't read third person point of view. And the truth is, everyone who can read third person point of view. I think that maybe in the romance world, we've become conditioned to reading the first person, so it feels a little different when we read third person, and maybe for a while we start to obsess over, oh, this is third person. There's no I, there's no me, they're referring to them by their name, and he and she. And the sad part is, you miss out, as a reader who won't read third person, you miss out on a whole world of amazing stories that are written in third person point of view. You would miss out on the Harry Potter series, or there's a whole bunch of books that you would miss out on by not reading third person point of view. So I am getting ready to release, the story is called Because of Her. It is the last book in my Jack and Jill world, as we'll call it. There was the original trilogy, End of Day, Middle of Night, Dawn of Forever, written in third person point of view. It is my favorite story that I've written, still to this day. I keep waiting on that other one. My Life series is up there. Transcendent Epic are right up there as well, but I still go back to the Jack and Jill, probably because I spent a whole year with these characters. And then there's the spinoff one, and then there's the spinoff of that spinoff called Look the Part. Those are both first person point of view, not third. Then I did a spinoff, kind of a direct spin-off of the original trilogy called Out of Love. Again, that can be read as a standalone, and it is also first person point of view. So now, Because of Her will be the end of all of this. It also will be written as a standalone. So I gained a lot of new readers through Out of Love. So I don't regret writing it and kind of marketing it as a standalone. Now, those of you who have read and loved the Jack and Jill series, I know that that bothers you. You want your friends to start with the Jack and Jill series, and you want them to read it in order. And in my book loving soul, I want that too. However, from a marketing standpoint, I also want to sell books. So I don't love putting out books that require readers to go back 3 other books before they can jump into this, because there's going to be too many readers with the gazillion books out there that are like, I thought I wanted to read this, but I have to go read those other 3 books. I don't want to. And yes, there's going to be spoilers. So if you read Out of Love, there's spoilers to the Jack and Jill series. If you read Because of Her, and then you go back and read Out of Love, you're going to find out that there was some spoilers. Also spoilers clearly to the Jack and Jill series. Do I think that means you shouldn't go back and read those? No, you absolutely should, because there's still going to be so much enjoyment that you get from those books. There's a lot of people who reread books, so they know everything that's coming next. Well, if you've had a few spoilers, you maybe aren't going to have quite the emotional reaction when you go back and read those other books, but you're still going to love the journey. I really believe that. So because of her, this is the first time that I am writing a book that has first person point of view and third person point of view. So Jackson is an existing character in my Jack and Jill series and that entire world. And so his character's point of view will be third person narration. And the reason I am doing that is because I need to give Jackson the appropriate background for readers who are coming into that book not knowing anything from the Jack and Jill world. And it's hard to do that in first person point of view without feeling like the story is stalled and the character is just thinking about his past all of the time. And I'm not even probably explaining that right. But having that third person narration is just going to be a much smoother transition into how he got to where he is currently in the story. Then the female character is going to be a first person point of view. She's not an existing character from my Jack and Jill world. This story came together because I was originally just going to write her story, and I just decided to bring Jackson in and thought it would be a mesh of these two story ideas. And I am 10 chapters into it and I absolutely love it. I think it's a brilliant idea that I'm doing the third person and first person, and maybe I will be the only one that thinks that. But I encourage all of you who think that you can't read third person point of view to maybe train yourself to read third person point of view. Like, jump into some third person point of view books. Ask your friends who do read third person what books they love the most, and those will be the ones where the story will draw you in, and after a while you won't realize that you're reading third person. I'm not writing third person omniscient, so this is a third person limited. You're still, as the narrator, only in the mind of that character during that scene, during that chapter. So it's not like your mind jumping in the one chapter. So there's still the intimacy. You're still, like when I'm writing this, I'm still in Jackson's head, but I'm just a little bit separated. So when I'm giving the background, it's not as though he's thinking it at the time. So the story can kind of keep moving in your head without like, wow, what is he doing while he's reminiscing about the past? I relate this also to foods. So when I was younger, there was a long list of foods that I A, wouldn't try, or B, tried once and decided right away I didn't like it. I didn't like onions, I didn't like tomatoes, I wouldn't even try an avocado. So many things that now that I've, in a way, trained myself to eat just because I've decided to try more dishes and give these foods multiple tries. I love good tomatoes and I love onions, especially red onions. I put red onions on everything. And the almighty avocado. I love avocados. Love, love, love them. I have half an avocado almost every single day. And guacamole, that's my favorite. So I have nori was another thing, like the nori sheets that you can make sushi in. So I'll make vegan sushi now. And I used to be able to only do like a spring roll that had the rice wrap. I couldn't do that kind of seaweed kelp type nori roll. I would gag on it. And when I realized that it was so high in nutrients and it has iodine and all these good things in it, I told myself, I need to learn to like these. So I would start eating them, and I would have, of course, the rice and the veggies and a little sauce that I would dip it into. Now I love them. I kind of crave them. So I have adapted, and I feel like my world is opened up in a culinary way. There's so many more foods that I enjoy. I can go out to restaurants and I enjoy so much. I don't go down the menu and be like, I don't like all this. I've allowed myself into this world, even if at first I had to nudge myself. So as readers, I want you to nudge yourself, because as I get ready in the fall to release this final book in my Jack and Jill world, and while I will be marketing it as a standalone, there's going to be so many readers who are going to be telling all their friends that they need to read the Jack and Jill series first. And I love you all who are going to do that. I love you for that. but we are going to market this still as a standalone because I'm afraid that there's going to be too many people who don't jump into that. But I feel like if you love my writing and you don't want to read the Jack and Jill series, you're missing out. You're missing out on what I think is my best work. So even if you've tried it, maybe try the audio, maybe listen to the audio. Kind of push yourself into it. I don't think you will regret it. I think you will be very emotionally connected. You can ask anybody who's read the Jack and Jill series, when they finish the end of book 2, will you be sobbing in tears? Yes, yes, you will be. You will be connected. You won't be like, oh, this is weird, it's third person. You will just be so into these characters. Other books that I have written in third person point of view, When Life Happened. So those of you who had read it know that it has this epic, epic plot twist where you throw your Kindle across the room, but I love it. And those of you who have read it and loved it, I've had so many people who found me via this book, third person point of view. But again, it's a limited point of view. So you're really only ever in one person's head. You just don't get the I, me, I, me, I, me. You actually are getting their names, the he, she more. But I feel it's very well done and it's very intimately narrated through this third person point of view. Another book of mine is Jersey 6. Jersey 6 is my rock star romance. It is a very dark, edgy book. It's very sexy. It's different than a lot of rock star romances, probably because I didn't have a lot of knowledge of rock star romances, so I did it in my Julianne way. But it is also third person point of view for very specific reasons, that the background of these characters and weaving that with what's going on in the present time of the book was going to be awkward and clumsy and very disconnected by trying to just do first person point of view, jumping back and forth. When am I finding times that they're thinking back to the past, or what are they thinking in the present? It just was going to box me in as a creator to try to write it through anything but third person point of view. So that is my plea to you. We are going on almost 12 minutes of my plea to you to try this, try new foods, try new ways of reading books through third person point of view, because I have some really exciting stuff coming for you and I don't want you to miss out on it. So that is it. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone, and we'll talk soon. Bye.